All right, TV guide from January of 1996. This is as far into the future as I've ever gone. Got Morgan Fairchild on the cover. She was big in the 80s. I don't know about 96. Guess she was on some daytime soap opera or something in the 90s. Let's get into this and see what's going on in 96. I know what I was doing in 96. I remember a few shows fondly from that time. Here's a Plymouth. Anybody remember Plymouths? This lady's crawling out of a washing machine or dryer, I guess. Alright, so there's a glimpse of the 90s. A Redneck's Guide to TV. Guy actually had his own sitcom. Can you believe that? I can't. We got Friends over here. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Never seen one episode of that show. But I do vaguely remember Van Damme being on. Uh-oh, we got our girl over here, Kathy Ireland. If you lived through the 90s, you know what I'm talking about there. There's our guy from NYPD. I talked about NYPD Blue on another episode, so I won't rehash that. Talked about this guy before. Guy got famous because his mom is like a comedy insider. Here's a good glimpse of the 90s. Hootie and the Blowfish, folks. Apparently Darius Rucker would get mad because people would come up to him and think his name was Hootie. And he would get butthurt about it. I mean, you're a millionaire, you're on top of the world, and you're getting butthurt over something stupid. Yeah, these 90s TV guys are a little thicker, a little more content. 80s, yeah, 80s Super Vixen descends on daytime. The City? Daily serial, ER-style pacing, quirky camera work. Maybe that one didn't last very long. Maybe that's why I haven't heard about it or remember it. Yeah, this talks about winter preview, first look at TV's second season. So maybe that's what this is here. Mid-season makeover. Is that when Moesha came on in the middle of 96? Let's see. I don't recognize this with Judge Reinhold. Let's read some of these. Champs. Nash Bridges. Is that when that debuted? Looks like it might have, because it says Don Johnson is a San Francisco detective, so it's describing it like you've never heard of it before. So we know that show lasted a while. We know the Dana Carvey show didn't, thankfully. Yeah. Moesha, teen songstress, girl coping with adolescence. UPN, January 23rd. Pretty cool. I'm learning some stuff here because I wasn't paying that close attention to TV in 96. I was watching Star Trek Voyager. And not much else, to be honest. Yeah, some of these obviously didn't catch on, like this Louis Anderson guy. Or this thing. Muppets Live. Looks like ABC tried to spin off America's Funny Home Videos. They got World's Funniest Videos. Oh boy. I mean, we are getting into the era here of so many channels that they got to fill time with like some trash and some bottom of the barrel stuff, which is completely describes what we have now. But this was, you know, in the 90s is kind of when that started, when they started getting so many different channels. And you got to fill those channels up with something. Yeah, here's that guy. Got some funny stand-up, but I don't know about his sitcom. Is it time to change the guard? Oh, there's Touched by an Angel. A lot of people like that show in the 90s. It's another one I never watched. I watched a little bit of The Nanny in the 90s. Obviously, I watched Batman the Animated Series. That's a cool Monopoly set right there. Sterling silver and 24 karat gold. Monthly install. Oh, wow. So you got to be rich. $555 for this Monopoly set, because I guess it has like some gold little pieces and hotels. I mean, that's super pimp. I wonder if anybody owns this thing. Anybody's put down $500. Imagine if you found that at like a thrift store and they didn't realize what it was. All right, I'm kind of dreaming now. ER was big. Never watched one episode of that, thankfully. If you're an ER fan, I would just have to say why. Why? Sandra, we loved her in the 90s. Sandy Bullock. What'd I tell you? Star Trek Voyager. Oh, this is cool. So the top video rentals in 96. Apollo 13, Crimson Tide. Some good movies here. Congo was pretty bad. While You Were Sleeping is decent. I think that's the one with Sandy. Oh, I think she was in that one too. She was everywhere. Species. Dolores Claiborne's kind of a trippy Stephen King movie. Bad Boys. Dr. Katz. Delta Burke and Maternal Instincts. So these look like some made-for-TV movies or something here. But there'll be plenty of ads in here, so we won't linger too long. Yeah, so now we got all these channels. We got Fox and UPN. Looks like we got the WB, so we got all three of those kind of ones that I remember from the 90s. UPN, WB, and Fox, as well as all the other ones. Saturday morning. Fantastic Four cartoon, Iron Man cartoon, VR Troopers, Gladiators 2000. Huh. Dumb and Dumber cartoon. You kids in the 90s, do you remember any of this stuff? Because I don't. Jelly Bean Jungle? Were you guys watching Jelly Bean Jungle? Looks like Mega Man had a cartoon. I mean, you gotta admit, at least there's a lot to choose from. G.I. Joe Extreme. I might have to look that one up. It's not the original G.I. Joe. Bill Nye, unfortunately. Some cartoon called Darkstalkers. Yeah, lots to choose from. Hyperman cartoon. I mean, I don't have time to read all these because there's tons of them. Where is Carmen Sandiego? I definitely remember that. Something intriguing about that. Family Matters. I'm guessing that's the show and not a cartoon. Aladdin cartoon. That's interesting. Wonder how long that lasted. Power Rangers. Everybody was watching that for some reason. But there's that Dumb and Dumber cartoon again. Yeah, Animaniacs, I like that one. Masked Rider. Nancy Drew. I wonder if that's the original one from like the 70s or if that's like a new one for the 90s. Nancy Drew's a great character. Yeah, Spider-Man cartoon. Spider-Man and the X-Men were definitely... Yeah, X-Men comes on right after it. That's the one everybody was watching. We weren't watching California Dreams or whatever. We were probably watching Saved by the Bell, though. Yeah, lots to choose from here. The Tick was pretty funny. All right, and then to Saturday afternoon, Road to Olympic Gold. Yeah, I guess the Winter Olympics would be right around the corner, I guess, in 96. I just remember the Summer Olympics from 96 because they were in Atlanta. It's the last time they were in the United States, I think. Or maybe they were in Utah one year. Does Utah count as a state? I'm going to vote no. We got stuff like Xena. I've talked about those in other episodes. I mean, if you know, so we've got the stuff from the 90s we remember. Any Xena fans out there? Any xenophobes? Baywatch Nights. Baywatch was a guilty pleasure, folks, but you gotta watch it with the sound off. I don't mean down, turned down. I mean you have to watch it muted. Yeah, Star Trek Voyager. Neelix and Paris must put their jealousies over Cass aside. Who remembers that show? I liked the Klingon girl. I can't remember her name. She was my favorite character. Then we got 7 to 9 when they jumped the shark, but it was still good. Saturday evening. All right, look at all this stuff. Dr. Quinn, Touched by an Angel, Walker, Jag, Hope and Gloria, Sisters. I wonder if that was... No, that's that late night soap type show. Cops, America's Most Wanted. Yeah, there's that Jeff Foxworthy. Maybe This Time. Lawrence Welk, for goodness sakes. Adventures of Briscoe County was pretty fun. Guess it came on TNT. My So-Called Life with, what's her name? Is it Claire Danes? Was that her? I never watched it, but it was a pretty cool show, I think. Lots of good stuff here, folks. What do you remember? Do you remember North and South? Do you remember The Goodbye Girl? That's an old movie from like the 80s, I think. Yeah, it looks like they're re-showing this miniseries from the 80s. But what's her name was in it? Do they have her name here? They don't have the name of the girl I liked. Patrick Swayze was in that. Check this out. So USA. Weird Science and Campus Cops. Recently saw a little bit of the original Weird Science movie, and it reminded me why that movie sucks. You got Kelly LeBrock. Should have been a great movie. Movie was stupid. There were lots of great teen movies from the 80s, and that just wasn't one of them. Never heard of this Campus Cops. I don't recognize those guys. Maybe we'll try to see at 9:30 who was on that. Let's see, Campus Cops. I don't see it. Here we go. Yeah, I didn't even say their name. Ben Bodie. Oh, check this out. They're doing more ads. That's pretty cool. Duckman. I do vaguely remember Duckman. Weekly World News. This might have been fun, though. They might have been just having fun with it. Never heard that, but that sounds kind of fun on USA. Tales from the Crypt, classic. Mad TV. I was never a huge fan of that, but it was pretty funny. Alison Krauss and Merle Haggard are on Austin City Limits. That's pretty strong. Voyager. I'm assuming that's Star Trek. Saturday Night Live with Christopher Walken, Joan Osborne. Who remembers Joan Osborne? Lilith Fair, What If God Was One of Us? I fondly remember that song and her. Alright, Sunday morning. You can watch Jelly Bean Jungle. You watch that G.I. Joe Extreme again. I'm guessing it's probably a crappy 90s cartoon, but I'm still wondering how that looks. I'm sure they did some redesigns on the costumes and stuff. Ralph Sexton Ministries, something called Puppet Love for cartoons, something called Monster Mania for kids. They were feeding some weird stuff into our brains, folks, and it's just gotten worse since. Check this out, Salem's Lot, Cat's Eye. Playing some old scary movies on TBS. Yeah, this would be football season. Actually, football and basketball season. Passport to Murder movie with Connie Selica from '93. Interesting. Connie was an '80s lady. She was on America. Was it Greatest American Hero? Bag a trip to the Super Bowl. Check that out. All right, this is just Sunday afternoon, so we're not lingering on it too much. But here's Sunday night. Sybil, I remember that movie. I mean, that TV show with Sybil Shepherd, I think. So I guess she named it after her. Looks like a Rockford Files revival movie in the 90s when he was like really old. Almost Perfect. That kind of rings a bell. Mad About You, News Radio, Simpsons, Martin, Married with Children. How good is that? Ned and Stacy kind of rings a bell. Lois and Clark. Babylon 5. It's a very beloved show by some. Sister Sister. Come on, folks. We're in the 90s now. Tia and Tamara. Did you guys like Tia or Tamara? Obviously, we barely tell them apart. Yeah, there's Mad About You. Paul Reiser, great show. And News Radio was pretty fun, too. Yeah, a lot of these 90s shows, I kind of would watch a couple of them, but not really into them. For some reason, I can only get into, like, Star Trek Voyager. This lady's trying to make us buy a vacuum. Outer Limits. Yeah, there's that Rockford. Got Diane Cannon in it. Rockford trying to solve some mysteries when he's like super old. Yeah, this is a snapshot into what TV Guide started doing. They started doing like multiple covers and theme covers and crap to try to sell their product because people weren't really buying TV Guide anymore because you could just turn on like that little TV Guide channel, which I think they ended up buying. So How Off's in a movie with Kathy Ireland. So I think we all owe Kathy Ireland an apology that she had to be in a movie with a total hack like the Hoff. Because she was the real deal. She was a supermodel, folks. We only had supermodels in the 90s. Yeah, check her out. Some kind of disaster movie. Yeah, we're sorry, Kathy, that you had to tolerate this dude and his giant ego. Almost perfect. I wonder what this Kirk is. I hope that's not Kirk Cameron. I don't recognize any of the names. Oh yeah, it is Kirk. Oh my God. So he had his own sitcom? Wow. That's, I'm sorry. The overwhelmingness of the 90s is getting me, folks. This is a great movie if you haven't seen it. One of my all-time favorite movies. Michael Mann. One of the best endings of any movie. I'm being biased, obviously, but yeah, I love this movie. And of course, we got Madeline Stowe. We got Jodie May. Jodie May, she only made like 2 movies. Beautiful lady. And yeah, it's just a great movie in my opinion. We wouldn't want to watch it with commercials on ABC though. Alright, we're into Monday morning. You can watch Mutant League cartoon. You can watch a cartoon called Little Pet Shop. I do remember VR Troopers, and of course Gargoyles was pretty solid cartoon. Sailor Moon, absolute classic. I'm not a huge anime guy, but I've watched a few episodes of Sailor Moon recently. That show was awesome, man. And it's all girls, but I still love it. And I don't know. Anime in general is pretty epic because like it goes through season after season, and there's like it evolves, so like the team evolves and stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah, daytime TV we don't linger too long unless something catches our eye. Doogie Howser's in reruns. Let's see what this is. Hoop Dreams reunion. James Brown. Oh, that's the James Brown football guy. It's weird. I got one of those CD clubs. There's our girls, TLC. There's our girl, Atlantis. The girls were killing it in the 90s, man. The sisters were doing it for themselves. We got this hack again. There's Joan Osborne. All right, Monday night. Coach, everybody remember that show, Coach? I think it would have been reruns at this point. All right, Monday evening, we got The Nanny, the aforementioned Nanny. Can't Hurry Love. Murphy Brown was still on in 96? Is that right? You guys got to keep me honest here. Was Murphy Brown still on in 96? Chicago Hope. Fresh Prince, In the House. Was that the Mr. Cooper? Maybe that was something different. Melrose Place. Ned and Stacy. Yeah, I wish they had some photo ads for some of these. Star Trek Voyager. With my girl, the Klingon. Sorry, I don't remember her name. I think she was like Hispanic. Just checking out some of the... let's see what kind of trash is on MTV. MTV was still solid in the 90s, but they're bringing in the Road Rules, which is trash. Beavis and Butthead. I think it still would have been first run at that point. Here we go. Cheryl Ladd got a short haircut. She's bringing it. She's changing her style for the 90s. Yeah. See, these ads bring it to life. Cause see, we wouldn't have known what Justice for Annie is, but that's our girl Winnie from the Wonder Years, looking super. Looking like she's in serious peril. We're burning crosses over here. Yeah, so these are just a couple made-for-TV movies or whatever. This feels like maybe it's one of those, yeah, true story type things. So Kirk Cameron had his own show. I'm still a little bit gobsmacked by that factoid. There's that guy. I've ripped on him before. I'll rip on him again. Why was John Cryer? Somebody please tell me, why was John Cryer? He was great in Pretty in Pink as Ducky. Absolutely great. But after that, please go away, dude. So here's that Ned and Stacy with, what's her name from... She went on to do that really popular show. And I'm sorry, I can't remember what it was called now. And then that guy's been in everything. She looks familiar too. Maybe we can look. 9 and 9:30 on Fox. Ned and Stacy. Okay, yeah, right here. Farrah Fork. That's not her name, I don't think. Deborah Messing. Yeah, that's her name. I can't remember what show, but she became a big star on that other show. And then Partners. Here's Tom Wopat. Larry Pressman. Catherine Lloyd Burns. Shoot. Yeah, John Cryer, for goodness sakes. Somebody, please leave a comment and explain John Cryer to me. Oh yeah, Jazz Central. I almost forgot about that. BET used to also, and maybe they still do. They used to run. Of course, they had like the raps. Maybe not Rap City, but they had, but they also had the Jazz Central for like an hour and a half or whatever. Forgot about that. BET was great. Sci-Fi showing Incredible Hulk Marathon. Yeah, here's that North and the South thing. There's our girl. That's the girl I was trying to remember. Terry Gerber. I need to get this just for her, man. Love Terry Gerber. If you don't remember Terry Gerber, you're missing out. That's your loss, my gain. Sailor Moon again. Let's see if we spot anything else during the day that's worth mentioning. Rugrats, that was very popular. Yeah, a lot of times I didn't have cable, so I didn't watch a lot of these cable shows. Fraggle Rock. Wonder if that was still new in '96, or if that was just repeats from the '80s. Pooh Corner. Tasmania, I definitely remember that. Don't know why Taz got his own show, but it was kind of fun. Baywatch, Saved by the Bell. Kirk Cameron had his own show. That's a weird concept, folks. All right, Tuesday night. John Grisham's The Client. Yeah, it's a good movie. A lot of those 90s Grisham movies are pretty solid. I think that's the one with, maybe we'll see. I think that's the one with Demi Moore. Could be wrong. Wings, Third Rock from the Sun, Frasier, John Larroquette. Wings was pretty big. Frasier was obviously huge for some reason. It's another show I've never seen one episode of, never planned to. Roseanne's still on, I guess. Hudson Street, Home Improvement, NYPD Blue, that's pretty strong. Tuesday night's pretty strong on ABC. Figure skating. I wonder if they're getting ready for the Winter Olympics. Don't see much else. I might be missing something here. Dr. Katz. I've talked about that in other episodes, so I won't go over it again. Recommend if you haven't seen Dr. Katz. This week's Nova is a disaster. Can we never have earthquakes in America anymore? But they have these disastrous ones overseas, but America never has earthquakes. Why is that, folks? You got to ask questions in life. You can't just accept everything. Yeah, here's that lineup. Wings, got a huge ad for Third Rock. John Larroquette had his own show. That's just slightly less shocking than the Kirk Cameron revelation. Here we go. Fox Rock and Roll Skating Championships. Oh no. Christy Yamaguchi, Katarina Witt. I might be tuning in for those two, especially Katarina. Oksana Baliol, Scott Hamilton, Kurt Browning. What is this? TBS since where big girls don't cry. Watch out, she's seen Thelma and Louise. Doesn't ring a bell. But that doesn't mean it wasn't good or popular. I might have just been zoned out, and it might have been something good. Check this out. Delta Burke, Promise to Carolyn. It's like another serious movie. The War Factor. Were you guys Deep Space Nine or Voyager? Leave a comment and tell me. I'm voting Voyager. The Long March of Newt Gingrich. What a guy. He's fighting for all of us, isn't he? Spoiler alert, he's not. Northern Exposure. It's a fun show. I watched a few episodes of that. Good rapport between the two stars. All right, let's see what era of Baywatch this one is. This might have been rerun at like 11 o'clock at night. We got... Doesn't say any of the names. There are all kinds of eras of Baywatch. If you know, you know. Red Shoe Diaries, who remembers that? You know some of you do. Don't lie. I'm being honest with you, you gotta be honest with me. Alright, we're into Wednesday here. Kind of seeing the daytime lineup already. Video Vibrations, that was another BET one. So who were y'all listening to in the 90s? Were you Shantae Moore? Were you Tony B? Were you, I don't know, SWV? I was on Team Shantae. I like Tony B. Of course, Whitney was killing it in the 90s. Alright, so we're just going to Wednesday evening. Dave's World, that rings a bell. Bless This House, Matt Waters, American Gothic. Beverly Hills 90210, Party of Five with, what's her name? Jennifer Love Hewitt, right? Ellen. I watched a few episodes of that. Drew Carey, never watched that. Grace Under Fire. Dave's World. Police Beat Live. Rock. Yeah, I like that show. The BET show. Video Soul, Jazz Central, Rap City. Man, BET was so great in the 90s. That's because there was so much great music, though. It's easy to be great when there's great music, man. All right. Dave's World. Teacher Beth regrets lecturing her loved ones when her advice sends Dave weightlifting, Shell and Mia skydiving. Oh, Harry Anderson's in that. Okay. I like Harry Anderson. Shadow Stevens. Oh my God. All right, what era was Beverly Hills 90210 here? Were we into the Vanessa Marcel era? That's my favorite era. I know that for a fact. I don't think we were yet. I don't see Vanessa mentioned here. Yeah, there's Party of Five. She was the big star. What was her name? It's on the tip of my tongue. She was a big star in the 90s. Baywatch Nights, who remembers that? Again, you gotta watch it on mute, but it's, it's still barely watchable then. Let's see what's on this Matt Waters show. Anybody we know? All right, let's see Party of Five. What was her name? We're gonna see, hopefully. Poppy Montgomery's on there. It doesn't say her name in the thing here either. Yeah, here's that, whatchamacallit show. Delta Burke. American Gothic. I think that was sort of like a semi-horror, sort of suspenseful type deal. But I don't remember. I didn't watch it. Law and Order. Yeah, I don't know when Law and Order debuted, but man, as we know, it took over. It took over TV with all the spin-offs. Letterman's got Drew Barrymore on there. I wonder if that's the one where she got up on his desk. If you don't know, you better Google it. You guys around the 90s, you should know all this stuff. You should know Kathy Ireland. You should know Vanessa Marcel. Oh God, I remember that show on MTV. It's called Grind. Oh my gosh. Some of these I've thankfully blocked out of my brain. Patti LaBelle's On a Different World. All right, Thursday night. Let's see who it's on. Murder, She Wrote, Walker. Friends, Single Guy, Seinfeld, Mad About You, ER. Yeah, that was the must-see TV, I think. Living Single, The Crew, New York Undercover, Funniest Home Videos. I mean, they're trying. They're putting Funniest Home Videos up against Friends. Back to the Future Part 2. I've never seen the sequels. Just saw the first one. And never plan to see the sequels. What was her name? I can't remember. Still thinking about that Party of Five. There's Hercules. Lots of people were watching that in the 90s. Look at this guy. What's this guy doing? Thursday Night Movie. Michael Orcatan. Okay, they're not exactly showing some big stars on that one. Single Guy. Okay. Check this out. Gulf War. Why are they still talking about this in 96? That happened in like 91. Jeez, folks. The brainwashing never ends. I just want to watch Vanessa Marcel. I don't want to watch Saddam Hussein 5 years after the fact. It's like Lauren Hutton had her own like TV show or talk show or something. Tom Snyder was a great interviewer. He would like chain smoke and stuff while he was doing the interview. It was pretty funny. Just stuff you never see anymore. Timon and Pumbaa got their own cartoon. I think Lion King came out in 95, I think. Mark Wahlberg discussion. What? Please tell me he doesn't have his own show. Well, it's coming on at 3 a.m. That's good. Nobody's going to watch that trash. Oh, man, that's another guy. So we got John Cryer, we got Mark Wahlberg. Why is Mark Wahlberg? Somebody please tell me. Why is Mark Wahlberg, or as I like to call him, Marky Mark? I'm giving you the straight takes here, folks. I'm not sugarcoating, you know. I'm telling you what I like and what I don't. It's all good. We can disagree or not. Friday Night, Due South, that rings a bell. Diagnosis Murder, Picket Fences was pretty big. Unsolved Mysteries, Homicide: Life on the Street was a pretty good show for, you know, what it was. Family Matters, Boy Meets World, Step by Step, Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Let's see what else we got. Oh, X-Files. Yeah, people love that show. I liked it. I didn't love it, but it was fine. Kung Fu and Renegade. Yeah, lots of good stuff on Friday night. Hanging with Mr. Cooper was the original. Shoot, I can't remember the other guy's name, though. What is this? Sigourney Weaver, Death and the Maiden. Interesting. I've never heard of that. It might be good. Like, some of these 90 movies are better than you remember. Because they're just, you know, solid plot, solid acting. Sometimes pretty, you know, you can get into them. So I've never heard of Death and the Maiden with Sigourney. Here's Back to the Future 3. If you finally remember those, good. Yeah, it's cool. For me, it's just the first one. I don't want to see them retcon and go Back to the Future and change what happened in the first one and all that. Guess that's about it. There'll be some back matter, though. Yeah, it's Lauren Hutton. Let's see if Marky Mark's on again at 3 a.m. If he is, we got to ask why. He is. Folks, you got to look this up. Is this a different Mark Wahlberg? Does this guy actually have it? Because this guy didn't have enough brain cells to have a talk show. We got to Google that one. Folks, help me out here. All right, see, this part's fun, so we got to go through a few of these. This is the pay channel, so this would be the good movies with no commercials, you know, unedited. And the fun thing about it is TV Guide gives their own little ratings. So, like, they gave Another 48 Hours, they only gave it 2 stars. And I like to look at their ratings because sometimes I disagree. And obviously, a lot of times I agree. So let's see here. I mean, some of these I don't even know, like Bigfoot. I don't know what that is. Bikini Squad. They gave 0 stars for that. That's hilarious. Blue Chips. That was a pretty solid movie, I thought, with Shaq and Nick Nolte. They only gave it 2 stars. I only saw it when it came out, though, so you know, I don't remember if it holds up or not. Electric Boogaloo. They gave it 2 stars, man. They're giving everything 2 stars, though. That's kind of playing it safe, you know? Carnosaur 2. Good Lord. Death and the Maiden. That's that Sigourney Weaver movie, I think. All right. Yeah, a lot of movies here that don't stand out. Ed Wood, people like that for some reason. I'm not really into Johnny Depp. Guy made a career out of playing like weird, quirky people. Flesh and Bone, I think that's a solid movie. Yeah, I think that's a solid movie, you guys. I only saw it recently. It's got Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. I don't remember what it's about even, but I think that's a pretty good movie. Called Flesh and Bone. I'm giving you guys gems here for free, man. They only gave it 2 stars, but I don't remember it vividly enough to say it was great, but I think it was pretty good. They love this 4 Weddings and the Funeral with that stupid Hugh Grant guy. I'll ask again, why is Hugh Grant? Why? Disclosure was a solid movie with Demi Moore. Just fun, you know, like legal drama type stuff, I think. Let's see what else. Grumpy Old Man's good. They liked it. Just a fun comedy. See, they gave Jason Goes to Hell 2 stars. They're just giving everything 2 stars. That's kind of playing it safe, you know? They really like this last detail. Not seeing any that I can strongly agree or disagree with, though. But like I said, I think that Flesh and Bone is pretty strong. They liked Mrs. Doubtfire pretty good. They like Nadine for some reason. Christmas Vacation, they only gave it 2 stars. Come on, that's a perennial classic. That's at least 3 or 4 stars. Sometimes they don't know what they have until it's, too late. Pelican Brief is solid. Recommend that one also. Powder Burn, that rings a bell. Professional, they only gave it 2 stars. Get real. I mean, it's violent, gritty. It's it's a particular type of movie, but it's a great movie. It's probably 3 or 4 star movie. Come on. Revenge with Madeline Stowe. Rudy. Never seen that movie. Silverado. Yeah, they gave it 3 stars. That's good. It's a very fun Western. They liked Sleepless in Seattle. I think everybody did. South Central. Yeah, there were some great black movies in the 90s. Just absolute, some of the great movies from the early 90s. Total Recall, they gave 3 stars. That's pretty high. I mean, I agree, but I'm just surprised they liked it. They liked What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Okay. Wyatt Earp. All right, I'm going to do one more hot take for y'all. Come on, you're here for the hot takes. I recently watched this. This is the Kevin Costner one. Because remember, they also made Tombstone. They were at the same time. They're both about Wyatt Earp. This was the Kevin Costner one. This movie is stupid. Everything Wyatt Earp does in this movie is dumb. He gets all his friends and his brothers killed. He just continues to make dumb choices, and it's like a 3-hour-long movie. And I'm surprised somebody at some point didn't say, yo, we got to do something to make Wyatt Earp not look like a total idiot that's getting all his friends killed. But if you watch that movie, mark my words, I just described it to you. Good old Kevin Costner. All right, if you're a 90s aficionado, hit pause, print this out, and do the crossword. You can figure them out. Because, you get a few of them, and then it helps you get others. So, like Blank Hills 90210, 2031 down. Come on, you know what that is. And some of them, if they seem too hard, like the Outer Blank, the Outer Limits, if some of them are too hard, eventually you'll fill enough in where you can probably figure some of the other ones out. Don't Google. Just try to see if you remember it. If you weren't around the 90s, it's going to be hard to work that. All right, this has been January of 1996. Thanks again, and see you all next time.